Specs here, Mike coming in from Atlanta to check out the cars. Say hi, Mike.
Hi.
All right, so you just had a chance to take a tour and do a test drive here at the Vintage Factory. Would love to get your thoughts on what you saw and what the test drive was like, and get your feedback.
I think you guys are doing a great job. I love all the different colors and how far you can go in designing these with the different colors and all the different gadgets that you guys have on them. It's just awesome. It's more than what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to come here and see some really neat old Broncos, and then what I've come and found out is that these are old Bronco-esque with the new flair, and they're just they ride great. Just everything about them seems really good. I'm super impressed.
Yeah. Tell us about the test drive. You've driven old cars before, so you have some context. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was really good. We went, pretty good ride. We took turns driving. I felt like rides like a new vehicle. It's not the old, rattly old car that even whenever you buy a car that's been restored, a lot of times you can't still get some of the creaks out of it. It's a new vehicle, and it just rides very, it's very luxury, and that's kind of what I would like. Like, I don't want something that I want something that looks great, but I also want to keep, the amenities that I have.
Sure.
So I think you guys have nailed it with that, and I love the badging. I love, just a lot of the cool things that you guys do, that the electric windows, but still keeping it true to the old style. There's a lot of things you guys do that are very modern yet are true to the old Bronco. So I'm really impressed, super impressed.
Love it. What color would you pick?
There's so many that it's hard. Every time I look at a different color you show me, I think, well, maybe that color. But I really kind of like the basic plain. This white one right here, I just think the white with the black is just amazing.
Yeah.
I really like that, but I don't know yet. I have a buddy that is with me, and I think he's looking towards that midnight blue with the white trim.
Yeah.
But they're amazing, and I just like very clean.
Yeah, love it. Appreciate it. Mike, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate the feedback.
Yep. Listen, I appreciate you guys having us
Yeah,
here. It's worth
absolutely.
the trip. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
All right, you have a
great
wonderful day. Have a
You
great
as well.
weekend. Thanks, Mike. So there you have it, a impromptu test drive today by Mike and Tom, and I'm going to walk you through further what he's talking about. So these are not restorations. We used to do those. They're not even restomods. Modern restoration. We used to do those too. And what we found was, even though that those cars looked nice and they were the best you could get at the time, they'll never compare to a 2025 modern vehicle. And so instead of trying to make an old car more modern, we took a modern car chassis and built a vintage inspired vehicle on top of it. So this way you have modern technology, modern engineering, modern reliability. We went crazy with the luxury, and I'll show you what that looks like. And we have safety features, and that's the biggest difference, and I'll show you right here. Once upon a time, I bought an old Bronco. I always liked old cars, but when I got it home, I was shocked at how big of a gap there was between the old cars of the 1960s and 70s, and I've had Land Rover Defenders, I've had FJ40 Toyota Land Cruisers, I've had old two-door G-Wagons, old Broncos. What I quickly realized was that they looked really nice, but they had a lot of problems. Couldn't really trust it to be reliable, and the way they drove left a lot to be desired. And I've had Range Rovers, G-Wagons, Lamborghinis, all kinds of really modern, nice cars. And so the shock that I had was the ride quality, the steering, the braking, the reliability or lack of, the leaks, the squeaks, and the rattles. Very, very difficult to live with. And so I will explain a few things here so you can understand what a traditional restoration is, what a resto-mod or modern restoration is, and what our modern classic is, and why they are leaps and bounds different from each other. So a lot of people wanted more modern when it came to restoration. So Restomod became all the rage, and this is what our competitors do, and this is what we did here in this building. This is Atlanta, Georgia, by the way, where we make all this magic happen, all of it done here in the US. And the biggest culprit of old cars is going to be the geometry. So this narrow track width and solid axles, which is great for off-roading, but not as great for normal street driving and freeway driving. And people with luxury cars today, not used to solid axles. And then the biggest issue is going to be this short wheelbase. It's only 92 inches. So from there to there is very short. So now you've got a high center of gravity. Your stability is like very narrow and short. You have solid axles up here, and then you have none of the modern true like technology that you're so used to in your Range Rover G-Wagon. This right here, you'd like this for about 5 minutes around the block, low speed. And then this right here was the best you could get at the time. And even if we did make this drive better, there's 0 safety features. So when the company Vintage really started blowing up, our customers gave us a lot of feedback around fit and finish, and they said that the quality and the craftsmanship was beautiful, and they appreciated some of the modern technology that you get over an old restoration. But at the end of the day, it fell short of their G-Wagon or Range Rover. So they came back to us and said, hey, can you make a vehicle that only looks classic? Because I'm not a purist, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a collector, I'm not into the whole numbers matching all original. I really kind of don't care. What I really care about is that I want 0 problems. It's got to be reliable. It has to drive like a 2025 G-Wagon, Range Rover, Urus, Bentayga, Cullinan, whatever you've got. And because my wife wants to drive it and my kids want to drive it, or I have young kids or grandkids, I need safety features. And that's a pretty big ask, guys, because to take a traditional restoration or a rest-a-mod and do that is impossible. And so we thought about it and we're like, you know what? What the customers really want is a classic-inspired vehicle that sits on a modern car chassis, therefore giving you modern car geometry, modern car technology, engineering, and the safety features, really important. So I'm going to show you the difference here. So this right here is our modern classic in Brittany blue. That's chalk gray. That is macadamia metallic. And here's Wimbledon white. All of these are not restorations. They all have that classic inspired design. But here's what we did. We went to great lengths to solve the problem. And what we did was, instead of starting with an old car chassis from the 1960s, we started with a modern 2025 chassis. And this right here makes all the difference in the world. It's a night and day difference, a 10x or better improvement. And I'm going to explain to you why. First of all, it's been 60 years since those old cars came out. So design, engineering, technology drastically improves every decade. You've had 50, 60 years of improvements. Now, this chassis right here, let's first talk about the track width, which is wider than an old restoration or a modern restoration or rest-a-mod. And the wheelbase, instead of being 92 inches, only 92 from there to there, which is very short, is 100.4 inches. It's an 8-inch difference. I can tell you that just the difference of that 100.4 inch wheelbase and a wider track width alone is going to make a much, much more modern driving experience that you're used to. And by the way, for $250,000, which is not a small amount of money, you shouldn't have to compromise on that. And then down here, you have independent front suspension, IFS. And again, if you're a hardcore off-roader, then solid axles are great. And by the way, you can still off-road this for sure. But you know, 99% of people that own a G-Wagon or Range Rover, honestly, probably don't off-road it. But it is fully capable if you want to. But you have a wider track width, longer wheelbase, independent front suspension. This is what you're used to in your G-Wagon or your Range Rover, right? So it's going to drive significantly better. Now, let's talk about what's all underneath here, because you're probably not technical and you don't know what this is. I'm going to explain it to you in layman's terms. I'm going to tell you what you actually really need to know. What you need to know is that an old restoration or even a rest-a-mod does not have safety features, and that always bothered me because I didn't come from restoration. I came from really nice cars. I've had over 50 of the nicest cars you can think of since I was 21, and I knew that when I got into an old car, Defender, Land Cruiser, Bronco, whatever, that there were risks I was taking. And if you can afford this car, you probably don't want to take those risks, right? And I had kids and a wife that were worried. And so this right here, this chassis is a 2025 chassis, modern, FMVSS compliant and crash tested by us. We went through all of that compliance to ensure that all the 900 hours of labor and surgery that we went through to transform a modern car chassis into a vintage car was done the right way. And so in the frame of the vehicle are crumple zones. You want crumple zones. They're supposed to crumple around you, therefore protecting the inside occupants. And people have this misconception. They look at the cars today, they go, oh yeah, well, they kind of fold like an accordion. That is the design. That is 50, 60 years of learning. You want all that weight transfer when you get in an accident to crumple around you and keep the passenger safe inside. And therefore, number one, crumple zones built into the chassis are really important. You have those in your car that you drive every single day. You just don't think about it. Old cars don't have them. Big difference. No weight transfer, not modern technology, not modern design engineering. So you've got crumple zones into the frame. Okay, great. Important, got it, check. Side impact beams. Old cars didn't have that, right? So again, inside of this beautiful art of steel sculpted metal are side impact beams in case you get hit from the side. Also, you have functional roll bar. This roll bar is actually tied to the chassis, to the frame, and it's going to give you that rollover protection. And then inside, you have 6 airbags, and this was a big, big deal for us. We wanted airbags back when we were doing restoration and Restomod. Quickly found out, not going to happen. It's just not possible. You can't just retrofit an old car like that. And so instead, when you start with a 2025 chassis, you get 6 airbags. And these 6 airbags are really, really important because even with your crumple zones and your side impact beams and your roll bar, you want something to ensure that your passengers are safe. And you probably drive a car every single day that has at least 6 airbags. So here you have a dual stage front driver's side steering wheel mounted airbag. You have one in the front passenger side as well, dual stage. You have a pair of side impact seat mounted airbags in each of the front seats. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these things right here that you can see in the pink that span all the way from the A pillar to the rear right here. That's your side curtain airbag. That's a big one. And what that does is, imagine you get in an accident. We don't like to think about it, but this is really your investment right here. This is why you're spending the money, is that God forbid there's an accident. Now you have crumple zones to ensure that outside weight transfer is happening. You've got side impact beams in case you get hit on the side. And now you have these 6 airbags. Imagine all these deploying, and you have rear passenger protection with those rear and side curtain airbags versus not. It's a major difference. And this is a big deal for us because we could have kept doing what we're doing. And the feedback that we got from our customers was they love the brand, they love the service, they love the fit and finish, the quality. However, make it drive like my modern car. A, give me more luxury because I'm a little bougie. I'm used to, nice stuff at $250K, $300,000 price point. The biggest thing they wanted was safety features. And that's what we gave them. And so we start with this modern chassis, and we then go through great lengths to transform it into this classic inspired vehicle. And this is actually bigger, wider, longer than the classic version because we didn't want to do a restoration or just build the same car. That car had geometry flaws, right? Physical limitations around the size and shape. So this is a very imposing vehicle. This thing pulls up, you're not going to miss it. It is wide, it is long, it's 8 inches longer, and it's got all brand new American-made steel. I don't have my gloves on today, so I'm not going to touch it, but this right here is not fiberglass or cheap, composite materials. Actually, American-made steel from Detroit. And when we went and did this project, people thought we were crazy, but we're like, no. We know what it is our customers wanted because they told us. And so we're going to go do it. And so we invested into a massive amount of tooling and molds to create a classic-inspired body. It has 0 rust because it's brand new. All the lines and gaps are perfect. And when you shut and close the door, you'll hear and feel every bit of that classic-inspired design, except you don't have any of the problems. And you literally could drive this car every single day if you wanted to, unlike a classic car, because it's going to ride and steer and brake like your modern car. By the way, it has traction control and anti-lock brakes. Classic cars, Restomods don't have traction control, so if you're in the rain and you slam on your brakes, it's going to be a problem. Not something you've ever had to think about, right? It keeps you out of trouble. Again, things you don't want to have to worry about, but into the chassis, underneath it all, are the modern conveniences and technology and engineering that you're used to. So traction control, anti-lock brakes, roll sensor, stability control, shift on the fly, four-wheel drive, even has cruise control. And it has Apple CarPlay, touch screen navigation, 12-inch infotainment screen, factory dual zone climate control, heated seats, USB A and C, and the details on it. Again, I'm not going to touch it because this one's about to ship. Look at the craftsmanship. This is 900 labor hours of obsession, and we were after perfection. When we went through these iterations, we said this version has to be the finest, highest quality, best driving, luxurious, classic inspired vehicle on the market, because it was a big bet to do this. And what we have now today is we're in full production here in Atlanta, Georgia, and you can customize your own going to our website. We have a configurator at vintagemodern.co. You can buy a build in progress. All of these right here are spoken for. This is just some of them. And there's one up for grabs for Christmas delivery, may have already sold, that you could also customize. Text or call us and you can grab that. And I'm going to walk you through our process. You can see the great lengths we went to transform traditional restoration to Restomod to a modern, fully modernized classic. So check this out. This right here is our inspection tunnel. We go through thousands of inspection checks because the quality of what we build is very important to us. And a little bit more background on me as a founder is that I grew up with no money at all. Immigrant parents from another country came here, and we roughed it, right? And so for me, to be able to afford this car is an absolute privilege, and to be able to get a customer to say, hey, we're going to trust you with our $250,000+ investment, we take that very seriously. So not only should you expect great materials and quality parts, the craftsmanship, the detail, and then of course your fit and finish, but after delivery, the service that we provide to our customers is reflective of that obligation. We think that anything we touch and build and put together for you, it should absolutely be stood behind by us, and we do. And so we include a white glove, bumper to bumper warranty, where if anything pops up after delivery and we cannot handle that remotely, we have our own certified traveling technicians. They work for us full time. They're experts in the vehicle. They know it inside and out, and they will fly to your home in your driveway and take care of it fast and for zero cost. We think that's how a warranty for a $250,000 base vehicle price should be like. You shouldn't have to go anywhere. You shouldn't have to wait. You should be able to talk to your customer representative that you already know, and we should be very quick about it. And we don't care what time it is or what day of the week it is. Warranty for us is a big deal because we went to great lengths to reverse engineer perfection. We are wildly maniacal about that. And so if anything pops up, we're going to take care of it super fast and in your driveway in a convenient way for you. And you're not going to have to pay anything for it because it should just be included, right? Because warranty means something broke. And, having had the top car brands in the world, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, McLaren, Bentley, I know what that experience is like. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to have to wait. And I definitely don't have to pay for something if something goes wrong. So bumper to bumper warranty, we stay behind it. And that gives you an idea of what kind of company we are. It gives you an idea of our quality and our confidence in our people, our process, and our parts. And that's how we did this. We reverse engineered perfection. So going back to if you could have everything you wanted, it would be a cool classic looking car that doesn't have any problems, that all the details and fit and finish are pretty much on par or better than your OEM $250,000 G-Wagon G63 AMG. I've had 5 or 6 of those. I know your Range Rover, I've had a bunch of those. And our goal was actually not to make it equal to, it was actually to make it better than. So I'll show you. This right here on your G-Wagon, go take a look. That's plastic. $250,000 and then give you plastic. So we wrapped every little detail inside, either in leather or Alcantara. And so the entire roll bar, the entire top portion, the whole perimeter of the car, the entire roll bar is wrapped in Alcantara. And then the leather details inside will remind you of your wife's handbags that you so generously picked out or paid for. And we carried that kind of, those kind of design cues into this. So the amount of craftsmanship in this thing, you can see. And we didn't just wrap leather. I can tell you, I've seen people wrap this kind of leather, but they didn't go through FMVSS certification. Here's the difference, guys. You have to have a special certificate and cut this in a certain way so that if the airbag does need to blow, it's going to come out, right? And so not only did we get that certification, we also blew the airbags using the same test companies that the big OEMs use. And we did it on all the airbags, and we crash tested the car, front, side, and rear, and FMVSS certified. Go Google that. FMVSS certification. Every modern vehicle coming off the line today has to have that. It has to meet NHTSA standards. So the old restorations and restomods, they look nice, but they cannot pass FMVSS because they're not compliant to today's standards. Big deal, right? And again, for us, if we want to build a good company, we would have kept doing what we're doing. By that time, the brand had already blown up online. We already had clients like LeBron James and Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Lopez and all kinds of billionaires and athletes and celebrities, and people just like you and I who just loved nice design. They were successful in life and they were able to afford whatever they wanted. We could have kept doing that, but I knew deep down that if we wanted to build a great company, it had to have the normal driving characteristics of your normal car. It had to have all the luxury that you're used to and spoiled by. It has to have all the technology that you can't live without, like your Apple CarPlay and your Android Auto. And the number one thing it had to do was also be safe for your family, because our customers, they actually want to drive the car. They're not just like museum collectors. They want to drive it. And every car I ever bought, I drove. I never let it sit. So that was a big decision to make. But then we had to actually build it and do it well. And to do 900 hours of handcrafted labor at this scale is nearly impossible. The way we did that was we were obsessive about process. So it was people, process, parts, over and over. Today's Saturday, so all of the SOPs, all the station monitors are off. But I can tell you, that is our obsession. If it's not perfect, we're not interested in it. And all these right here, this is Brittany Blue. Absolutely stunning and beautiful. Check out the interior of this one. Snow White. This right here, Boxwood Green. Absolutely beautiful. And we have very close relationships with our clients, and customer feedback for us doesn't end. We're constantly making it better. And the good news is our customers tell us that they love the fit and finish. They love the quality. They already love the quality when we're doing Restomod too. But this is a different level. The luxury blows them away. And these are customers that have the nicest of the nice. So you can buy a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or a Range Rover Autobiography or a G-Wagon AMG G63. I assure you, based on what our customers have told us, and I know because I've already had all those cars, that the fit and finish and the details will blow you away. And then what they tell us is that the driving experience is like nothing else. It's just such a cool car that's super rare. You'll almost never see another one. You get to customize all kinds of things, like the grille color could be Wimbledon white, silver, black, body matching, bright white. You have trim options, could be Wimbledon white, black, clear white, or chrome. Wheel options, forged, aluminum. Everything we did, we never asked how we can make it cheaper. We asked how we can make it better. So these are forged aluminum wheels. You know anything about wheels? Very expensive, super lightweight, high quality, comes in black, polished, white, Wimbledon white, and we just released a new retro wheel that looks old, but is a forged aluminum wheel as well. Very a perfect blend, I would say, of vintage and modern together. And then we partner with best-in-class companies like Fox. So Fox CEO is a friend of ours and a customer. And so when we're doing the development, we said, how do we get the absolute best writing option? And so we went to the Fox R&D lab, and their engineers and our engineers got together, and we tuned this for this custom setup, because this doesn't exist. We stamped all these parts. It's brand new steel. It's heavy. The weight distribution changes. So again, you don't just throw suspension on off the shelf. You get it tuned. And we went to Fox headquarters. So each one of these is custom tuned for this exact setup. Ideally, it is dialed in for street driving, freeway driving, everyday driving. But if you want to off-road this thing, or you want to be able to adjust it, they're adjustable. So you can make it harder or softer, and it is fully off-road capable. So 33-inch BF Goodrich tires. These are 17-inch forged aluminum wheels. All of these details right here, engineered by us. And this is billet aluminum. Again, steel body made from American-made steel in Detroit, not China, not Taiwan. It would have been cheaper, but we didn't do it. And then all of your lines and all of your gaps, it will exceed your expectations. And soft top, fully waterproof. It doesn't flap around in the wind. You could drive it in the rain and in the snow. I've done it myself. And again, it just opens up the world of opportunity for when you can actually drive the thing when it's built on a modern car chassis. In the front, you have LED lights, and back here you can't see it, but there's a sensor, pre-collision assist with emergency braking. So you know what that is. Somebody pops up in front of you, they're not paying attention, you're not paying attention, it'll flash, beep, and then has emergency braking as well. And then back here, you have your backup camera that appears on your 12-inch infotainment system, and you have parking sensors too. And this bumper right here, brand new steel, sent to Detroit to be chromed. Pretty crazy, right? Shouldn't have to give up anything, right? 250 grand, shouldn't have to give up, shouldn't have to make compromises, shouldn't have to be, you know, oh shoot, I can't drive my car today because it's raining or it's far or it's a freeway or I got my kids. You should just be able to drive it all the time. So imagine in your garage, whatever it is you have, and it's like you just dropped 200, 300K, but you can only drive it in these conditions. You'd probably be like, give me my money back. So yeah, we really did try to think of everything so that it could really be an experience that you can enjoy. What you can focus on is just, you know, driving. And you'll actually want to drive just for fun, which is really, really cool. And if you have kids or grandkids, I promise you that this will be their favorite car. They'll beg you to drive it, and you can put the top all the way up like this, or you can put it in safari mode like this, and you can have this moonroof up here that gives you flexibility to quickly open and close it. So I'll show you real quick here. Check this out. One hand on the phone, one hand on the top, and there's two clamps up here that allow you to shut it. Airtight, waterproof. We water test everything. One thing I always hated about classic cars is, God forbid I did drive it in the rain, I'm telling you, water would come inside. That's really annoying. And so we built this and engineered it and designed it in a way where when it's clamped and when it's all zipped up, it is waterproof, not gonna leak. And again, it's all things that we tested, and we were very, very thoughtful about it. This is mallard green, by the way, really nice color. And this one right here, GT silver, getting an alignment before test miles. We test everything, and then after testing, and we compile data on everything we do, we measure every single step in the entire process. Here's our brand new Detroit American-made steel classic inspired panels here. And I'll show you over here. This is chassis upfitting. Every single thing we do is recorded, and what that allows us to do is to nail the process, make it repeatable, and promise on-time delivery. And to be completely transparent, I can tell you, if you've ever built a car or a house or anything, you know, it's never on time, right? And I think people got away with that for a while during the pandemic and supply chain and all that. And we went through, you know, the same thing. We weren't immune to it. We were late, and I hated that. Because I asked myself, if you're a customer and you're going to spend this kind of money, what's the ideal outcome? The ideal outcome for you would be that it is perfect mechanically and cosmetically, and it's on time. Think about it. If you want it by Christmas, if you want it for a birthday or anniversary, or your wife's 50th, or your kid's graduation, or your daughter's 16th birthday party, you're going to want that thing to be on time. And you don't want it to be on time and imperfect. And you don't want it to be perfect and late. Sounds pretty simple, but we know what you want. You want it to be on time, and you want it to be perfect. And because of the way we build, with process, rigorous process and data, we have takt times, T-A-K-T. Google that. That tells us exactly how long it takes to do everything, every single step, and there's hundreds of steps and 900 hours of labor is documented with standard operating procedures and takt times. Therefore, we can calculate exactly how many we can build, what days, holidays, days off, all that. We have it all down to a science. We've built these down to a science where we can predict. And now what we can do, after a long, relentless amount of work, making people, process, and parts just better and better and better, we have on-time delivery with perfection. And I'm proud to be able to say that I shouldn't say none. We have a bunch of people here working today, but not everybody. It's because of our team, and they understood what the mission was, and they did such an exceptional job just constantly obsessing over making it better and better. This right here, Pebble Beach Green Custom 1 of 1 edition. Check out the paint on that. It is a show quality paint job. And what's really cool is when outsiders, third-party automotive consultants, experts who have worked with the biggest and best OEMs, when they come here, they tell us the work that we do is elite. And for it being all handcrafted, guys, I hope you understand, almost every car you see on the road is not handcrafted. It's done on automation, robotics. This is all done by hand. It takes artists who are super meticulous and talented to pull this off. But I can tell you, I've been around artists for a long time, and I've been around a lot of great people since we did a restoration. It wasn't enough. You need exceptional process in order to repeat it. And that's what we've done. We have blended art and science together to be able to give you what we believe is the finest classic-inspired luxury automobile on the planet. And we're that confident. And we have built over 200 of these right here at our factory, and we've got this process nailed and dialed in. And I say that with one disclaimer, which is, as a true artist and perfectionist, you're actually never perfect. And that right there is what you want. You want this continuous improvement mindset where we'll never settle, and we constantly score each and every build, and we take those scores back to people, process, and parts, and they just get better and better and better. And I am extremely proud of this team, because at the end of the day, I didn't start this company to make money. And in the beginning, because restoration had so many problems, I thought about quitting. Seriously, I was like, wait, I don't feel good about building a restoration and charging somebody a lot of money, and then the first day they're like, well, it broke down. And people around me were like, yeah, it's an old car. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. And I listened to them. They said, I don't care what it costs. I want it to be perfect, which means make the problems go away. Okay, well, then you don't want an old restoration. You want a Restomod. And so we built Restomod, and that was very hard, by the way. Line up supply chain, build process, up to this entire factory, and we built it. We built it really, really well. And then to still have that feedback of, yeah, but, make it drive better, make it safer, make it, more luxurious. It was like, wow, well, that was good. This is better. And truly what is best for our customers who want it all is a fully modernized classic. So I hope you guys reach out to us. You can text us by phone or email. We're open on weekends, nights. We work all the time because this is what we love to do. We got a whole team. You can reach out to Rachel by text, call, email, and go to our website, vintagemodern.co, where you can see our inventory and builds in progress. There's a configurator on there as well. And there's just an endless amount of customizations, from paint colors to interior to trim to top. And you can really knock yourself out on that. But yeah, so if you're interested, send us a message. We'd love to chat and make your dreams come true. And that's not something we take lightly. So in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thank you for all of your support. And shout out to our amazing team who have made tons of sacrifices to make it all happen. And we appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to hearing from you.